Okay, so for the homework help, I decided to pick a problem that just helps you understand the concepts. So it's kind of close to um, the problem that you'll do in your homework, but mostly this homework help is for a concept. Okay, so we're doing chapter 8, exercise 10. That is on page 300. And we have some payroll summary data that I've already filled out here. And the problem is to solve for all of these boxes that I've shaded and put a border around. So let's step through this. Okay, so we have, first problem that we come to is our regular earnings rate. And off the top of my head, I don't know what that is. Typically, our regular rate, or I should say our overtime rate, is paid at 1.5 times our regular rate. But in exercise 8-9, that's not the case. So it's not safe to assume that here. So far we can't figure out what that is. Okay, so let's think. Total earnings are really going to be the sum of those two, most likely. But we don't really know what that is unless we say that it is the sum of those two. So we'll just start with that. Deductions. Oh, okay, so here's actually our total. So in our deductions section, there is a net paid and a total deductions. And so the net amount that's paid plus the total amount of deductions gives us our total earnings, because earnings are equal to the net paycheck and all of our deductions. Okay, so our total earnings is going to be equal to our total deductions plus our total net pay. Okay, and then that makes our regular earnings rate really easy. We just take 400,000, subtract what we paid in our overtime rate, and we get our regular rate. Okay, union dues. So our deductions are really this area, and this is going to be our total earnings minus our deductions, gets us our net pay. So our union dues are just going to be our total minus our other deductions. Okay, and then if we add all those individual deductions up, we get 147,800, 147,800. Okay, so have our total deductions now. Accounts increase. Okay, so let's think about this. We have 3 different types of wages, and we know that our total wages are going to be here. So let's say that we haven't paid our wages yet. We have a debit account, credit account, debit amount, credit amount. Okay, so we haven't paid our wages. So let's do factory, office, and sales. And then here we have wages payable. Okay, we haven't paid them yet, so we're creating a liability. We know that our total wages are 400,000, so we know that our credit amount is 400,000. Okay, our factory amount, and in fact what I should do is just link to that. Our factory amount was given, so we know what that is. And our office salary amount was given, so we know what that is. Okay, so our sales are just going to be the difference because our debits have to match our credits. right? So our sales salaries are going to be, we'll just finish it up over here. I like to think about things in journal entries. So that's why I do that. I know that we didn't have to, but that's kind of how my mind works, is in a journal entry format. So, okay, so in order to make sure that our debits and our credits match, we have to debit sales wages for 110,000. Okay, and we already have that here. So we have our total 400,000. That was our credit, minus our factory debit, minus our office salary debit. Okay, so 110. The book gives us a check figure for total earnings, which we should have checked a little earlier, but that's 400,000. Yeah, so these relationships, I'm going to leave that there actually. The relationships between earnings and deductions and net pay and how that affects your accounts are going to be important on the exam. Several questions on the exam related to this type of information, so make sure you understand it and make sure you set your problems up in your homework to where you can very easily change one or two amounts and get to your test question. Okay, as always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out individually, and hope you have a good week.